Hello, everyone, and welcome to the absolute final match of the fourth season of the Collegiate Chess League. My name's Joe, and this is John, and we're watching the Division 10 finals between University of Arizona B and Indiana University B. So we've got two B teams going at it here. And we actually watched Arizona play in the semifinals last week. They beat the University of Florida C team in a very close overtime match, 11.5 to 8.5. But what we didn't see was Indiana University beating University of Mississippi pretty easily, 13.5 to 2.5. So
Wow.
yeah, Arizona's the number one seed, but they got to get through Indiana first. How do you feel about your fellow Arizona team, John, making it?
Well, as you know, the University of Arizona is the rival of my alma mater. And additionally, I dated a girl that went to Indiana University. So I think I'm firmly rooting here for Indiana.
Wow.
I think they're gonna take it home, yeah, in the upset on
Well,
the final match of this season 4 of the Collegiate Chess League.
that's a lot different than what you said last week. You're just rooting for whoever was from
I'm
Arizona.
a, I'm a man of many talents.
You flopped.
No, no, no. That's not how I would put it.
Okay. All right, then I'll take your word. All right, so let's see. I like the position that Colton has is very peculiar. There's a rook on f2 that can't be taken, and now there goes the bishop on b2. And now
Oh my.
the pawn on d4 is hanging. This just doesn't look good for Ajaxius here.
Indeed, it does not, unfortunately. I think they started off well in the opening and kind of got a little bit lost in the middle game, unfortunately.
And
And it has resulted in this losing position, unfortunately.
Colton is the top board for Arizona, so they are the favorite to win on this one. It looks like they're tossing away their knight now.
Ooh, Crazy Llama might take this one down here in a second as well. Knight takes e4, rook takes c1, checkmate. Oh, he blundered mate in one. Wow. So Crazy Llama with the first point on the board for Indiana University here.
Yep, so that is Indiana's board two against uh, Eason Wang, who's actually Arizona's one of Arizona's captains. Um, I want to look at one of Indiana's captains, Tank from China, actually playing up against Quipper, who is the fourth board.
The dangerous name to be playing with there, but I digress. So
Tank is the top board for Indiana, so should be the favorite here. Yeah, mopping up some pawns. Now black has a 2-on-1 majority on the outside.
indeed. And maybe there was some potential knight g5 counterplay there for white, but I think it was going to be difficult. This bishop is going to be very strong on this open diagonal now that
Mm.
white no longer has an f pawn.
Now the rook on c7 is hit. f7 is hanging. Bishop f6 looks really strong. Cutting off.
Bishop f6 looked excellent.
Okay,
Now knight
attacking.
e6.
Ooh. So knight's attacking the rook. The bishop on e5 defends g7 though.
Indeed it does. But the knight on d8 is hanging. If we rook e8, maybe there's knight c7 here. And we could potentially get into some drawish territory here. Colton did win their game as well.
Point for Colton from Arizona. So that ties things up at one each.
So yeah, I really like knight c7 here for Kate Kuiper. forcing bishop takes and then rook f8, then maybe we go rook e1, force a rook to potentially either e8 or f7.
Bishop takes, rook c8.
This now we have rook a7.
Rook a7. Can you just go rook a8? Follow
You
that
can,
up.
and then I'll bring my rook back down, probably to f7 maybe. And again, it's not so clear to me how black is making progress here. This potentially looks extremely drawish. Whoa, rook e5 was forced. Now the a5 pawn is hanging, and that's just dead equal. Granted, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're going to draw, as we've seen in many rook endings throughout this CCL season. But okay, white just needs to take that and go king
Trading
g4.
up. Yeah, now 2 pawns versus 2 pawns. Complete
h4
symmetry.
looks excellent.
Let's look at
Rook
the other
a6
game real
looks
quick.
very good.
We have Timothy versus Gary Lee, both with the last name Lee, but Timothy spelled with 2 E's. Gary only spelled with 1 I.
Do you think this is Timothy Chalamet?
I don't.
Oh, that's a blunder. Queen takes f1 and knight e2 check wins the rook on f1.
Ooh, is Gary gonna find it in time pressure? 12 seconds.
Ding,
Oh,
ding.
oh, they
Oh,
just trade right away. They missed the knight check, forcing the
now
king
I think we,
over.
yeah, this is not it. This is just a drawn king and pawn ending, I guess. No. Oh, whoa. What are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen?
The kings go and meet in the center. But
And
yeah,
now white needs to be careful.
king f6 here.
King f6, we're getting to e5, but we're probably not getting in, right? Is there some kind of triangulation Kasparov-Saruman business here?
Well, black has 3 pawns against 2 on the G and H files. Like, can we trade a G pawn and try to make a passer that way?
We may potentially be able to do that and leverage our outside pass pawn, because after, let's say, like king e3, g5 takes, if e5, king f5.
Yeah, G5 I think was a chance. Timothy offering Gary a draw.
Oh, and it looks like Tank did end up winning that rook and pawn ending.
Whoa, where'd the pawns go?
That's a great question. The pawns were gone after the rooks were exchanged, which is even more interesting.
Oh man, the king just got it. He bullied his way in there. We could still see a stalemate though.
I really think Gary's got to go for it here, but it's probably going to claim threefold very quickly.
Is he gonna push? No, too late.
Oh,
Oh, he's letting his opponent get in. Hold on.
whoa.
E5, now black's out of moves.
King e6, and you
King
got to take the
e6.
c-pawn and try to run with it.
King e6.
Oh, no. King takes
King
e5 is
takes.
going to be forced, I think.
So Tank won his game. So now, oh, the king's going this
that's winning
way.
for white.
Because now
This is going to take on h5.
black's gonna lose the h pawn, and you can't stop that
man.
h pawn.
So we saw a win for Tank, which is one for Indiana. This is going to be a win for
Another win for
Lee.
Indiana. So Indiana's up 3-1 now.
What did I tell you? I just knew.
So Arizona, not the best start as the #1 seed. They're now down by 2 going into the second round, which is now underway. We see some Tank fans in the chat. Also, shout out to Kiara, one of our founders, and Chessmaster Brent. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Hope you're all doing well.
Founder badges still available? Question mark.
I believe so.
Just for anyone in the chat wanting a founder badge in a partnered Twitch channel, could be pretty sweet.
Yep, we did recently get partnered, and now people can sub if they want to get the founders badge. Not not many remaining. I don't know how many, but they are limited. Um, all right, so I'm looking at the Crazy Llama here for Indiana against Quipper. Um,
That game looks boring. Let me shift our focus here once again to Tank versus Eason Wong. The only reason I bring this game up is because they're playing a Grunfeld, which is a surprising opening choice for someone that's 1300. And the reason why it's so surprising is because these openings are notoriously difficult to play. These more modern style openings where you don't deal with the center by occupying it, but instead by um, sort of attacking it from the flank, with Fianchettoed bishops and flank pawn pushes like c5.
whoa, Bishop
And
takes
yeah,
f7.
Eason here has immediately blundered bishop g4, allowing bishop takes f7 check. If king takes knight g5, winning the bishop on g4. So yeah, I figured there might be some early action here. This is one of the pitfalls of playing more modern double-edged style openings. I mean, the Grunfeld is objectively a very strong opening, that is played at the very highest levels consistently. Some players even use it just as their own main weapon. I think MVL probably is the biggest name that comes to mind. But you know, they do have their pitfalls, which is that the reason grandmasters play it is because they're very complicated. And if you don't know the complications, it's very hard to figure out when you're not a grandmaster. It's hard for someone like my level to figure it out. It's hard for someone like your level to figure it out. And if you're 1300, I'm going to be honest, it's probably completely hopeless. So poor Eason here is suffering the ill effects of playing a dangerous opening and now just hangs a piece on d4, bishop takes. And
Yep.
if bishop takes d4, there's queen takes d4, hitting both the rook on h8 and the queen on d8. So tough stuff. And if we see bishop takes f3, there's queen takes f3 check first, or bishop takes g7 check. Really dealer's choice at that point.
They both look strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks like Eason's gonna go down for Arizona, and this is gonna be a second point for Tank, assuming they hold on to this initiative and this advantage, and pretty confident that they will. So Tank's gonna go 2 for 2, taking down Arizona's one of Arizona's captains.
Although I will say you did mention this Crazy Llama game earlier, and it looks like Kay Kuiper is on the brink of an upset. Up a piece here early in the middle game.
The old
Not
Quipper.
really sure what happened to Crazy Llama's knight, but
It was just hung. That'll do it.
just attacking a piece.
That's one way to lose a piece.
Yeah.
So Quipper, that would be a good upset, especially as a board 4 for Arizona. So that could be one way that they'll get some points back if Quipper can hold on to the lead against the Crazy Llama.
Wow, but Colton is throwing down also a full piece against T. Lee. That'd be a huge upset for Indiana, board 3, taking down board 1 from Arizona, especially if Kay Kuiper is able to hold on here.
Yeah,
We'll
Colton gets
see if
themselves pinned.
Colton has any tricks up their sleeve. But I think that Colton's been one of the most inconsistent players I've seen in the whole of CCL this year. Like, I remember being surprised that they were rated 1800 because they were losing in almost every single game that I saw them won. Amazing swindler, great blitz player. Chess could use some work.
Wait, what was Colton's score in the match against Florida? Can you look that up?
I can. Was that in the semis?
Yeah,
Let's take a look.
just
Had
a
3
quickie in the
points.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's instrumental in their win to make it here in the finals. But yeah,
Definitely.
Colton is down a piece against Timothy Lee.
Yeah. It's just that their performance in the CCL, they're kind of they're like a I don't know, up and down, hot and cold, radioactive
We're
kind
big
of
fans
player
of Colton's though from Arizona, so we're definitely cheering for Colton and hoping that they can turn things around here.
for sure. I mean,
Um,
based on all their past swindles, I'm not ruling them out of this game at all, especially not with the rating difference being so significant. I mean, F3 was pretty terrible idea, I think, from Colton. I've noticed they like to play these Carol Con and French stuff, so it's it makes sense why they chose to play F3, but I think that was an extremely bad practical choice.
well, they're gonna
Now White's
go.
King is just unbelievably weak.
Ooh, I like Bishop before actually putting the Bishop that was on the sideline on A3 back and to try to trade down, and so forcing the Bishop
Oh, yeah.
away. I think White would be good to try to use that G file, try to put something to good use. Like
Rook
make the
C3 is
best.
also excellent here.
Oh, and shout out to Darth Reven with the Prime. Hello and welcome. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Uh,
Congrats. Oh wait, that's not gonna result in a founder's badge
no,
though
I
because
think
it's a
it
fourth
is. I
up.
think it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it
epic.
counts. Yeah.
Wow. Jeff Bezos finally did something right.
I think
All right,
I
let's
think the
go.
gift subs don't count. Is where they'll get
Okay.
you. Yeah. Um
Fair.
also hello to Wikipedia. We got Chessmaster Brent using some channel points, which I think is might be the first time.
I don't even know what you have channel points for in this channel, frankly.
For predictions and stuff. We should do predictions. Yeah, Darth got his founder's badge. Look at that with the Prime.
Wow.
So yeah, if you guys have Twitch Prime,
Incredible.
it's a free sub once a month. And I think if you're a college student, you can get Amazon Prime for free as well using a student email.
You can do that. I
Ooh,
continue to do that by creating multiple ASU alias emails
is that
and signing
possible?
up
They let
for
you do that?
Prime for free for 6 months. I mean, they don't not let you do
When
that.
I was a student, they just gave you a student email. They didn't give you the power to create more.
I have the ability to create infinite universes, Joe. And
Just
by infinite
forever.
universes, I mean infinite
Dude,
email
you
aliases.
could be playing for ASU right now.
I could. I could.
I
Who knows? Potentially there's an alumni tournament in the future this summer, potentially. I don't know. I'm just throwing that idea out
We're
there.
definitely working on such a thing. It will exist at some point.
Will it be this summer?
It's a great
You'll have
question.
to tune in and find out.
So let's see. I
Colton
want to
already
look.
here creating counterplay, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Colton is creating
Already
Queen
making it.
C4, and his opponent is in a deep think tank. The rook on B3 is first and foremost hanging, but secondly, the pawn on E6 is hanging, and that's going to come with check. So
Indeed.
first priority is to save the rook. I think rook takes F3 is actually a good shot.
Looks excellent.
Giving up the pawn with check, but creating issues for White's king.
And most importantly, defending the F. Well, I guess it was already defended by the queen on A5, but yes. Now, queen G5. What a
Mm.
move.
Answering an
Holy.
attack with another attack. So saying, hey, I know my rook's hanging,
Queen
but so
takes
is yours.
C1 and queen takes G3.
So right
Sheesh.
now, the rook on C1 is defended, technically. But the bishop on G3 is hanging and with check. So Timothy not defending, instead deciding to go for the attack and the initiative. If the king wants to save G3, the king will step up. But again, rook takes F3 is going to come with a very strong attack. And if the
Or queen
king,
takes C1 is just going to win a free rook.
well, the queen's defending C1.
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
I thought, no, I thought wrong.
Wikipedia, the registration form for the next CCL season is not out.
What
So
about for
we
the alumni tournament?
yeah, we currently do not have registration open for our future season. We will announce that when it happens. So Yeah, all official Collegiate Chess League announcements, registrations will be announced now. So after queen takes on e6 with check, now we have a problem because the rook and the bishop are both hanging. So we take the rook, we lose
I
our
think
rook.
Colton's making the right decision here. Oh, looks like Gary won against a Jacktius.
So Gary gets their first point of the match, taking down the bottom board, Alex Williams.
Oh, and it looks like Kay Kuiper not able to hold on here against Crazy Llama either, giving the piece back. Ooh, via an
Ah,
en passant. That's painful. That's
yeah.
very painful.
So, and we had opposite color bishops, but the pawn was too strong for
Oh,
white.
unless bishop c4. Here in this position, Crazy Llama, bishop c4,
Well, I mean,
bishop b5 even.
oh, threatening mate, I see, is what you're saying.
Oh my god, he blunder mate in one. Dude, will Kay Kuiper see it?
There it
Oh my
is. So
god.
Kuiper does hold on, barely.
Wow.
Big upset. So sneaking in with
Dude,
the
it was like
king
the
and the rook
one
there.
thing you couldn't allow, just king f2 and you never lose. No, dude. Crazy Llama's never gonna forget that lesson.
So
Wow.
Tank did beat Eason. So let's see if Colton
Dude,
can.
and Colton's bringing it back against T. Lee. He's up a piece.
Yeah,
He
but
was
he's
down a
down.
whole rook.
This is gonna end as a draw, assuming he sacks. Yes, he does.
Wait, he completely blew a totally winning endgame. He just had a pass pawn that he gave away for nothing. Oh my goodness,
Wait.
d6 and bishop
Oh, with
g7.
check, bishop e4. He tried to distract the queen from defending g3, but forgot it came with check. Wow. So Colton.
He had a chance. Colton had a chance to win that game and just completely gave up on it. That's super disappointing. All right. So
So
what does that put our match total at?
yeah, Arizona, they get a point back. They were down 3-1 after the first, but now they're only down by one, 3.5 to 4.5. So another round like that, and they can tie things up here.
True. Huge.
What up, Swole? Good to see you. How you doing? This is the last match of the Collegiate Chess League's fourth season. This is Division 10 Finals, and they have $200 on the line. So first place is 200, but good news for second place is their prize is 150. So they're still guaranteed some money. Really, there's $50 on the line in this match. But obviously, the title of champions is at stake, and both teams are trying to earn this Division 10 prize. It's a close one. Arizona's trying to bring it
Indeed.
back. I'm
The
looking
U of
at
A really needs to get a coach in here that will teach them how to play something that's not the Caro-Kann. The Caro-Kann is not it.
Caro-Kann's a strong opening, I think, for black.
It's not that.
What would
Caro-Kann's not it.
you teach them if you can give them some free advice?
Sicilian or 1e5.
Ah,
Free advice.
ooh, Ajaxius could take on d4 here. White White trying to defend the c3 knight and hanging the pawn on d4. You think black's gonna take here?
Yes.
Well, they're thinking about it. What would be a better move for white instead of bishop d2?
I think there was a lot better stuff to do much earlier. For example, not playing c4 would have been a decent start.
Mm.
And frankly, not playing d4. Like, it's probably fine, but... And also, I'm sure there was knight ge2, by the way, instead of bishop d2. But
Yeah, the computer did
in
like knight
general, like,
ge2, but
this
doesn't
stuff is very tricky.
knight to e2, doesn't that blunder the pawn on c4?
Surely there's queen a4 check.
Queen a4, knight c6,
d5.
d5, and then Is there not like bishop takes?
What?
Bishop takes d5? Whoa, checkmate.
Oh,
So after you
checkmate.
blunder the d4 pawn, the knight comes out, but there goes f2.
Oh, that's a tough one.
So
That's
it's
a tough one.
Axios. That's their first point of the match, and they're taking down Eason, who's the captain for Arizona. Not a good way to start the third round.
It's 5.5. So if Indiana sweeps the rest of these games, they can take the match here and end the CCL season with a bang.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a sweep here in the third round. Looking at
Look, T.
Colton.
Lee is crushing K. Kuiper. Colton is a firecracker. That's what I'm gonna say.
I have faith in Colton.
In this position, I'm more skeptical than you are.
So Kuiper versus T. Lee. Technically, T. Lee is up a pawn. They're trying to trade down here, but it is a doubled pawn. And white has a bishop pair, but looks like black's doing a good job of neutralizing this light square bishop.
Black's position here is like so far superior, it's like hard to even describe how much better it is.
Okay. So bishop f4. And now white's rooks are connected, but
Not a fan of that one.
Black's doubling on the d file. Maybe white goes to the c file and does so. So now what are we doing here for black? Are we pushing that c pawn? Are we defending c7? Ooh, push.
Probably a simple c6
So
seems
push.
fine to me.
And now can white go? Yeah, a4 for b5.
Okay, and if I just go b5?
b5 right now. Makes sense. Maybe we take and then go rook a1.
What about just rook d4 right away and rook takes b4?
Rook d4 is a good move.
Indeed.
And they've played it, so that looks very solid. That's a 4 from a pawn and a bishop.
Colton is also struggling here. He is down a full pawn, 2 of which are passed.
Ooh. Yeah, but we've seen Colton struggle before. I think that's part of their MO.
Indeed.
Shout out to Swole.
That's like his deal.
Swole 19 getting in on the
founder badge?
The founder badge action with the Twitch Prime as well. Yeah. Love to see it.
Also, quite an interesting move here from Tank. Knight g6. If f takes, bishop takes check, king f8, queen f3 check, forcing a piece to f6. Blasting open black's king side, forcing the king to the f8 square. All while just exchanging some pieces. Very, very interesting stuff. I was gonna say
knight g6 it's a very solid find from Tank.
Indeed. He tanked on that one.
And Gary spent a lot of time to try to find a response. They decided to go with rook to g8. Not an awesome move.
I think queen g4 here looks very interesting for white potentially.
Queen to g4.
Yep.
Still trying to get rid of that knight.
Trying to add as much pressure as possible.
Yeah, Gary's in a tough spot now. They can't castle. They're gonna try maybe to go queen side perhaps.
You know, it may ultimately depend on Colton to see if he can pull out a win or a draw here to hold on for Team Arizona.
Well, Llama's pushing the pawns, and I think rook c6 makes a lot of sense.
I think rook c6, yeah, before instead of h3.
Yes.
Would have been quite good. Even rook c5 here, though, is very decent for white.
Yeah, so the problem is the pawn on d5 is hanging, so rook c5 defends that. Kind of a passive place for the rook, kind of sandwiched between these 2 pawns, but
a little bit.
I
think now white threatens b6 at the very least. So Colton needs to do something about that. I probably would play g6 here as black, just
B6 is a
to
nice threat because white actually is controlling h7, which is taking away that flight square for the black king. There are back rank issues.
yes. So yeah, potentially something like an f5 or a g6 here from Colton, I think would make a lot of sense to give that king luft so he doesn't have to worry about any potential back rank threats.
Okay, coming
Instead,
back.
chooses to go to e8 with the queen. Although maybe we have something like queen c2 potentially now, or is there rook c6 now? Yeah,
Yeah, I was
just
looking
rook
at rook
c6.
c6. This makes a lot of sense. Black let go of the pressure on d5, which means that that rook can now free itself between the two pawns and elects to kick this rook off the sixth, which is going to help both pawns try to advance. So normally the pawns like to work together. These two pawns are both isolated, but the rooks are doing a good job of supporting the pushes. Both pawns are supported by the rook on b1 as well. Oh, queen sacrifice and an immediate recapture.
Whoa. No, I think that's just drawn.
Crazy llama needed to take with the b pawn. Probably they had it pre-moved
Wow.
expecting rook takes.
That's crazy. That would have been just a free win.
Yeah, white would have been up there if they took with the b pawn,
And now
not
just
giving
rook
up the queen.
d7 and after b7, you just take on c7 with the d rook and it's
So
just dead equal. Wow, what a huge miss here.
yeah,
Incredible.
so black is up a rook, but these pawns are so good and so strong that they should be winning a pawn back.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
Whoa,
B8 queen.
he takes with the wrong rook. He needed to take with the rook on the third rank.
Dude, this is what I was telling you about Colton, man. I told you he's so just like inconsistent.
Okay, so we have two rooks versus queen and rook.
Dude, he gets gifted a draw. And K Kuiper is gonna lose, so let's see. So T Lee is gonna get the win. Ajaxius already got the win. So it's really down to Tank, right? If Tank can manage to win this game versus Gary, and Tank is completely winning. Tank is just destroying here.
Oh, pushing this
Gary's down a
pawn.
ton of time. D5 seems weird,
D5, what are we
but
going? Rook
okay.
D1 now? Whoa.
Dude, Tank is
E6.
throwing.
Tank is just trying to blast open this game, but at what cost?
Oh my god, go.
He's given
No,
up a
what?
knight.
What?
Queen take. Oh, wait. The knight
Uh,
covers G6. Oh, there goes the rook.
and then I guess you have Queen takes C4 check, and then Queen takes C6 here. Wow.
Oh, wow. You're getting the rook here. That's some crazy stuff. Wait. Maybe
Crazy
not.
Llama did win
Oh, but
against
you can miss.
Colton,
Oh, that's a free
and T
rook.
Lee won.
But missed.
Will you see Knight takes C8 though?
Knight takes is still there. No, he doesn't.
Wow.
But
I
still
mean,
crushing
still
for
completely
Tank.
winning.
Yeah.
And it's official. If Tank wins this game, Indiana wins the match with an entire round to spare.
So T Lee wins, and you said
Colton did lose.
it's a
Knight
crazy
takes,
llama.
yes. Knight takes E7 now for Tank.
Knight takes. There it is. A queen
Queen
takes
takes
pawn with
G7.
check.
It's all falling
Don't
apart.
take on
Rook E1,
h6.
Rook E1 check.
Rook check. Now that
Queen
wins
takes
the knight. Rook check.
F7.
Yeah, very nice.
C4 now.
Rook check. Queen d7 check. This should be mating soon.
Yeah.
Block, but that's just main one. So Tank closes it out, and like you said, Indiana wins with a round to spare.
I called it, man. You said it wasn't likely, but
They
dude,
swept.
I've been seeing these players play.
They just swept that round.
Mine eyes do not deceive me.
Hello to Hoosier Alex supporting Indiana in the chat.
Congrats on your team's big win.
Yeah, so Indiana B team, they win the Division 10 championship along with $200 cash for first place. Arizona, they're gonna take second place along with $150. So still a good result for them at the end of the day. They got second in their division along with some cash. So didn't win the championship title for their division, but they're gonna still take what they got, and we still have one last round underway. Maybe Arizona can answer back with a sweep of their own to make the match as
This
close as
is
possible. But
this is I would call this round sort of a CCL season 4 victory lap. A good time for reflection, you know.
maybe, do you think Indiana will play any like Bone Clouds or any
No,
fun games? No. Yeah, it looks like they're all playing just normal chess. Maybe they don't know that they've won yet.
I think that's probably the case.
I see Eason in the chat congratulating the opponent as they're playing, saying we'll get you next
Interesting.
time. So maybe we'll have a Arizona versus Indiana, you know.
Eason, while you're here, stop playing the Grunfeld. Okay, there you go.
Some free coaching advice from one Arizonan to another.
Indeed.
So yeah,
Uh,
John, what else do you know about Arizona chess? Obviously, ASU is your alma mater. Here we're
mhm.
seeing Arizona B has made it to the finals in their division, and I actually know another Arizona school might be joining the mix for next season, Northern Arizona University. Are there any other
Interesting.
names to look out for in that community, or is the college chess scene still growing?
Some up and comers. I think the college chess scene is still growing for the most part. Um, Scholastic chess in Arizona recently has been pretty up and down, I would say. So like when I was growing up, there were these tournaments called Master Treks, which were one Saturday a month. There would be a tournament run by Danny Wrench himself. And it was for pretty strong players. There was like a 2000 plus rated section. There was like a under 1800, I think, like an under 1600 and an under 1400, some kind of that style. And not only were there those tournaments, but Danny also used to host like things that he called strategy sessions. So we would go in one Sunday a month for like 5 hours and do like very intense chess coaching sessions where we would cover a lot of things like middle game strategies and end games, more difficult, like complex topics, especially stuff you don't typically cover in like a private lesson. And so there was a very like vibrant, very strong group, close-knit community in Arizona when I was coming up. And I think most of the kids that were pretty young when Danny stopped running the Master Treks and when he eventually, transitioned to chess.com. Um, I think most of those kids now are out of college, like probably around this year was their senior year. So a lot of the names that, or at least some of the names that have been in the CCL the last 4 seasons, I've like recognized, mostly because they were like young kids when, so I was like, 2100 or whatever, and they were down, like 1600 or whatever. And um, so not really people that I played against, but names that I kind of knew and faces that I recognized. But yeah, I mean, there's still like a very strong chess presence in Arizona, and I'm sure we'll continue to see some, Division two, borderline Division one teams from definitely, I would say ASU and U of A, especially because Tucson has a little bit more of a consistent chess scene, even though it's a little bit smaller than Phoenix is. University of Arizona is in Tucson, ASU is in Phoenix. But Northern
Hmm.
Arizona is the wild card for me. I remember when I used to go to state and stuff, there were like some Northern Arizona kids that were from places like Flagstaff and Prescott and Show Low, which are some northern Arizona cities where it's like snowy and cold and mountainous. But they could introduce some dark horses, I would say. Definitely, I wouldn't rule northern Arizona out, but I would expect the central and more like south central Arizona teams to be quite good moving forward.
Yeah, interestingly, ASU was part of the CCL in the inaugural season, and they've stuck around and have been part of every single season since. University of Arizona started off with the CCL, but they actually didn't have a team in past seasons, so it's good to have them back. And like I said, Northern Arizona might be joining the mix as well. So cool to see Arizona growing, even without some important chess figures like Danny Wrench, who have since moved out. But yeah, Indiana is another state that they didn't have a chess team in the CCL until recently, so good to have them joining. Not sure if
It's
they have other colleges. I mean, is Purdue in Indiana?
Purdue is in Indiana,
Yeah,
yes,
Purdue
and
is
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is a school that I haven't been able to connect with. Um, so we would love to have them join.
That kind of surprises me because I feel like there's probably a lot of very decent chess players that go to Notre Dame. That's a pretty good school.
Yeah, you would think. I see Colton lost to Tank, so Tank ends up sweeping the Arizona team 4-4.
Wow, that's
Um,
impressive stuff.
I've been watching Eason versus Timothy Lee, and looks like the lead has been kind of handed back and forth.
Whoa, what
Yeah,
what did T. Lee had the easiest win ever?
yeah, with the
He's double
two
protected pawns
connected pass
on E6
pawns,
and yeah.
and
What are we doing here?
unfortunately brings the rook to the C file, and yeah, after the push, allowing rook to D7. So what was a better path forward? Apparently, it likes D7. So the wrong
Literally
pawn
anything
push.
else.
So D7, rook E7, and what exactly is the difference there, Butta?
I think you're gonna go like rook b5 or rook b1, whichever, to take on b6. And basically you're gonna prevent black's pawns from advancing, including probably capturing them both, while the rook defends the e6 pawn, which is sort of the like anchor of those two pawns, and prevent it from being captured. So black's rooks are going to be locked up with their king to defend the pawns, while white's rooks will both be able to defend and sort of roam free to like attack.
Yeah, so Eason, they get their first point of the match, so they're not gonna get swept or blanked. I'm looking at the bottom boards now. Alex versus Christopher.
This is a weird position for sure.
I see
For
Timothy Lee in the
sure.
chat tuning in, saying GG's. Thank you. Appreciate that.
GG's. Congrats on your wins.
Yeah, looking forward to next season. So awesome to see that. Definitely looking forward to that. All right, so we got 2 games left. Uh, Looking at Crazy Llama now versus Gary. The Battle of Board 2 is both at 1400. Looks like White's pushing through with the C pawn.
This is very difficult though because
Black can
white's
take
king
on
is so
F2.
weak.
Yeah, this bishop and rook here looking to do damage. What exactly is the threat? There's bishop G2, king to G1, but
There's potentially rook d8, rook d2 for black. I mean, this looks extremely difficult for white. I don't know. Oh, that hangs the
oh,
rook.
bishops can take that. Let's see. Is Crazy Llama gonna find it?
You
And
just
they
take, go
do.
rook d8, and they can't defend the pawn, unfortunately.
Rook D8. I'm wondering, can we insert bishop F5 with a rook C8 desperado?
No, because there's rook f1 mate, unfortunately.
Ah, with the pawn
Um,
covering G2, this rook is tied down to the defensive back rank. So,
Very, very clever idea, but yeah, just unfortunately does not work this one time.
and Halvard in the chat sees it too. Hello to
It would be
Halvard.
nice. It would be nice to it would be nice to see it on the board though. I think that would be a satisfying finish to this game. It would feel like a very double-edged, like White's like one move away, you know.
Very close. But yeah, as it stands right now, looks like Black is gonna mop up that
Ooh,
last
bishop
pawn and
e4.
be able to win this one. Yep.
Yeah.
Up in
And
exchange.
now rook d2 looks excellent.
Doubling the rooks. Nice. All right, let's look at Alex versus Christopher. So we have rook and pawn endgame.
You can't make me look at another one of these rook endings, man. There's only so much I can take from these not endgame
So
studiers.
White saves the f2 pawn.
Okay, rook d7 and rook e7 is coming.
I like how both kings are respectively cut off, but it's
I
like,
think rook f7 here is forced from black, or else.
oh,
Oh,
now
that
going
looks
for
bad.
f7.
Rook
Now,
e8 check. I think rook e8 check was much stronger first, forcing rook f8 and then going rook e7.
whoa, doubling on the f file. This is not good.
Now, rook check and takes h7 was also very good.
Trading
Okay,
down
now
here.
white is fumbling the bag here.
Trading pawns.
They're being extremely cavalier with this
Whoa,
very
leaving the pawns
complex
on the
king and pawn
board.
ending.
The king's coming back. Uh-oh. I think white's gonna
G5
win this.
now, h5.
I think white's gonna win.
It looks like Crazy Llama did end up
Ooh,
checkmating Gary as well.
f4 is winning for white apparently.
Yep.
Ah, this allows king
King
d5.
b5 now.
It's probably just a draw.
Yeah, surely.
So
King
Crazy
b6,
Llama wins. They went 3 out of 4.
King c4, King c6, and yeah, it's just drawn. Don't do it, white. Don't get tempted.
King c5, full send.
Yeah, there we go. That's what. Oh god, that's losing
Oh,
h4.
h4. Or h takes. Wait,
Yeah.
it said h4 was a draw. Oh, black's promoting with check.
Yep. Do they know the technique? Is the
Uh,
question. Queen
can you
f1
go
check. Come
queen
on.
h8, or is that just immediately drawn?
That is probably winning, but I like
Still
queen
winning.
f1 check much
Yeah,
better.
check is king. So
This again, I don't like as
not
much because
allowing
we're
the
just
g pawn.
allowing g7. I want to force the king to
Uh,
g7.
he's trying to bring the king in, but again, checks are crucial.
Okay, queen h4
Queen
check,
h4, queen
then bring
h4,
the
then
king.
bring the king. Yes, while the
There
king
you
is
go.
blocking the pawn. So don't move the queen. Bring the king
Is he
in.
gonna flag?
Yep.
Queen
Now
f4
check.
check?
One
It's gonna
second.
draw.
Oh, with the the last pawn on the board, they get a
Mm,
dirty flag. So yeah, that's a point
unfortunate
for
stuff.
Alex.
So
Down to the last
what kind of
pawn.
final score are we looking at here?
So final score is looking like 4.5 to 11.5. Indiana wins. So congrats
Well
again
done.
to Indiana, the Hoosiers getting it done in Division 10, taking down University of Arizona. Solid match between two B teams, but yeah, Indiana, dude, they crushed in the semifinals as well as the finals. They're a strong team, and hopefully they'll come back again next season and maybe even play in a higher division.
Surely they will. I would imagine they would be higher rated. I would be surprised if they weren't.
Yeah,
But yeah, congrats to Indiana. And Joe, congrats on a amazing season 4 of the CCL. You did it. Last match, how you feel?
yeah, it's the end of a fourth season for us, a historic season. This is the biggest season we've ever had, and hopefully we'll have even more teams register for next season. So if you
How
guys
many
want
teams
to
total
keep,
did you have this season? Do you know?
it was over 220. We had
Wow,
14
that's
divisions of 16 each. So yeah, this was the most teams we've ever had, most schools we've ever had, most players we've ever had.
probably strongest players you've ever had, I would imagine, as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, we had UTRGV join for the first time, and they won it all in D1, taking down the defending champs U Chicago. So hopefully they'll be back as well. And actually, um, I have,
There were some crazy talented players playing in the CCL. Like if I was in college, like now or just going into college, I would be so excited to play, knowing that I would have a chance to play against like players like Grigori Oparin and other extremely strong grandmasters who are literally playing in the top flight tournaments in the world. That's just like it's not a chance that you get every day or really ever. I mean, I've never gotten a chance like that, even in my very long chess career. And so I feel like it's cool what the CCL does, how it kind of it like brings all of these players together who, like I would say, for example, all the players that are playing in Division 1 are strong players. Obviously some are stronger than others. But even still, like it's very cool to see players who are different levels of strong be able to go head to head. And I mean, you saw in the Division One final, I think was it board three for you Chicago or board four
Yeah,
that went like
William
three out
Greif.
of four
Yeah.
as an NM? Like that is crazy against some of the best players, in the world. So I feel like that's a lot of excitement and sort of intensity that you don't really get from any other online event that makes the CCL like particularly unique. So
Yeah. Uh, I agree with you. This is like the most exciting time to be a college chess player. This is something that didn't exist when you and I were students. And like you
definitely
said,
not.
this we're giving awesome opportunities for the players not only to win cool prizes, but to also just play some exciting, fun team chess, representing their school and playing against some of the best players in the league or in the world. So yeah, and obviously we have multiple divisions allowing for absolutely anyone to join at any skill level, regardless of their rating, which is really cool. And yeah, we're gonna do some really fun, exciting things over the summer as well as for next school year. So we're planning on doing some new formats, maybe doing some individual formats instead of team formats.
That would be
But yes,
crazy.
we will continue doing a team season every single school year, probably just in the spring. But yeah, like I said, fun and exciting things coming up. And yes, we are expecting even more schools and teams to be joining, especially in the top division. Teams like UT Dallas are going to be joining for the first time. That's at least from what I've heard so far, and hopefully many more. Uh, but yeah, that's the epic conclusion to our season 4, and I'm really excited to continue growing and what's to come in the future. So yeah,
And, thanks again, Joe, for putting this all together. I feel like this whole opportunity for like everyone is because of your dedication and your vision. So, huge congrats again on the very successful season 4 of the CCL.
yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, so that's it. And once again, my name's Joe. I'm the commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League, and that's John. You can check him out at Butta on Twitch.
The assistant to the commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League.
You say that jokingly, but maybe we can set something up. Who knows? We'll
Maybe
ask
one day
we'll
we'll have
ask
to see.
Danny.
You'll have to tune into the next season of the CCL to find out.
Yeah.
That's your cliffhanger teaser.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we're gonna send you guys off on a raid. So thank you for being here. Thanks for all the support. Lots of subs came in today. And yeah, I will see you
All right.
guys next time. Take care.
Take care.